What are the components of a healthy adult-child to parent relationship? Well, when our children are little, our emphasis is on training them, disciplining them, making sure that they're doing what's right, what they need to do, directing them, all of those things that we do as a parent of a young child. Baby, we're taking care of them 100% of the time. As they move toward adulthood, they do more and more things on their own. But then there's that transition when our children become adults that we should be able to change the relationship. And instead of it being one in which we're the parent directing and controlling, we have a shift and a new type of relationship with a new balance, which should work both ways. And one of the things that comes up a lot is parents who are dealing with children, adult children that are making unhealthy choices and who are doing things that they know are not good for them, or maybe they haven't gotten to the point where even though they're 18 or older and an adult technically, they aren't taking on adult responsibilities. And there's a lot of questions about, what do I do? What do I have to do? What should I do? When do I step in? But I just want to break away from all of that for a minute, and I just want you to kind of get this understanding of what a normal, healthy relationship between a parent and an adult child should be. Okay, so what are those components? The first one is mutual respect. We have to get to the point where both the child, the adult child, and the parent accept, with respect, each other's personhood, who the parent is and who the child is, and give that person, may not like what they do, you may not agree with the choices, you may wish that your children were making other choices, your children may wish that you were a different type of parent, a different person, but you're not. So you got to get to the point where you both have what's called mutual respect for the fact that each of you is his or her own person and has the right to be their own person. The second one is autonomy and independence. And autonomy means the ability to stand alone, and independence, obviously, the right to make your own choices and to not be dependent on one another. That doesn't mean not caring. We'll cover that one in a minute. But autonomy and independence is the ability to act and to act out of your own free will and to make your own choices without pressure and without threat of punishment, without manipulation or disciplining, whatever those things are that you did for your children when they were young, however you viewed your way of raising them. You're not doing that with your adult children. You are recognizing that your adult child has the freedom to act independently of you and can have autonomy from you. Now, the next one is self-examination. Any healthy relationship has to have two individuals who are willing to self-examine, and that means look at your weaknesses, your strengths, admit your faults when you do something that's wrong, be able to look at yourself and say, was I okay with that? Did I overreact? Was that something that I need to apologize for? Or, was that okay based on what was happening? Or, am I the thing that I was just told, that I do sometimes? Is that true? Is that something that I do? Is it something I need to correct? Now, your adult child needs to be able to do that also. Honestly, it takes a while to where adult children go from maybe mid-20s, early 20s if you're lucky, late 20s if it takes longer, to where it gets adult child gets a perspective and recognizes, my parent's not that bad. All those things that I saw was really maybe my own immaturity or my own inability to understand things. And so that gets to the point where, that child has a little easier time self-examining and saying, hey, yeah, I can be wrong. It's not always my parent. But a healthy relationship has two people that can self-examine and look at themselves. The next one is influence, okay? When we're always influencing people, influence means to just kind of set an example and kind of, very lightly, gently push somebody in a direction, not out of control, but just out of having an effect on them. And we do affect other people. So when we're influencing somebody, it means that something that we're doing is affecting them. So it will go two ways. Our child might influence us, and we might influence our children or our child. And so that influence is something that happens in a relationship. It is totally opposite of control. The next one is care and interest. I've noticed a shift as, going from the time when you have a baby is, very self-centered, and it's all about what the baby needs. And then as the child gets older, sometimes they have a time period where they get a little more, giving and love and stuff. And then teenagers go back to that total self-centered kind of looking at their own world and what they want for a while. And young adults do that for a little while too. But at some point, the relationship needs to change to where both the adult child and the parent care about each other, are able to show love, show concern, show caring, give and take, meet each other's needs when appropriate, and have interest. Just ask yourself this question. You call your adult child and you say, hey, how's it going? What's going on in your life? When does your adult child ask you, hey, mom, hey, dad, what's going on in your life? How's your work? How's your job? How's your study going? How was your trip? There needs to be that mutual, in a really healthy, balanced relationship, that mutual care and interest. Then the next one is relationship and companionship. And again, we do have that with our younger children, but as our children become adults, the relationship shifts away from us being the parent and more to where it's that mutual companionship. What do we enjoy doing together? Can we go on a trip and enjoy each other's company? Can we enjoy a sport together, enjoy a class together, and just like we would enjoy a friend that you would choose to go with or something. So that mutual relationship and companionship. And then the next one is communication. A healthy relationship can speak the truth in love. Each person can speak the truth. Each person can receive the truth. And that means that if you have a conflict or a problem, that you have a way to resolve that conflict and to communicate what's going on. And then the last one is acceptance. Acceptance means to just say, okay, this is who my adult child is. We let go of those expectations that were not fulfilled. We have them for each of our children. And when our children grow and we get to that point where we see, oh, this child has a different personality than I thought when he or she was a baby. This child is choosing a different career. This child has different strengths than me, different likes. To let go of those unfulfilled expectations and to really get into that point where you accept, this is who my child is as a person created by God, as an individual, unique. This is my child. I'm going to accept that this is who my child is. And then hopefully at this point in your relationship with your adult child can say, hey, my parent wasn't perfect. My mom wasn't perfect. My dad wasn't perfect. But no one is. And I'm going to let go of the anger and the disappointment and the things that my parent isn't able to be to me that I wished I'd had. And I'm just going to accept that this is who God gave me as a parent. And I'm going to be grateful for who that parent is. I'm going to accept my mom, accept my dad for who they are. The things I don't like, the things that I do like. There's a really good scripture I love in Romans. It's Romans 15:7, and it says to accept one another just as Christ accepts you. And I think, wow, Christ accepts us, God accepts us. He does. He treats us as adult children. He cares about us. He loves us. He allows us to come to him. He does not make us choose how he wants us to choose. He allows us the dignity to make that choice, and he enjoys that relationship with us. So when you think about that healthy relationship with your adult child, even if your child is not at that place yet, think about yourself. And if your child is doing things where he or she is making choices that you don't agree with and that are kind of unhealthy, you've got to say, hey, I've got to accept that that's that child's right to do that. Give that mutual respect and allow that child to make those choices without disciplining and without, controlling and telling that child how wrong he or she is. But at the same time, when we're adults, along with that choice comes responsibility, allowing that child to be also responsible for the choices that he or she is making as that autonomous, independent adult. So I hope this has helped you in whatever relationship you have with your adult child at this particular point in time. And I'd like to thank you for watching this video on Change My Relationship and encourage you to check out my website and my resources. I've got studies that will help you if you've got a really difficult relationship with your adult child, audio studies, video studies, books, all kinds of written devotionals and stuff. And I hope you'll really find what you need there. God bless you.